Perfect. All right, fam. Welcome to the William Cooper Show. This is the return to the William Cooper Show. This is the return to the William Cooper Show. Thank you for your patience. All right. As you can tell, this is the first time that we have gone live or done any of this, but we're here. All right. We are here right now. So shout out to you, first of all, for coming on this stream. Make sure you show some love in the chat so we can know who's here with us. This is impromptu. I know this is not the best time of day or any of that to actually go live. So I know that there are going to be more people to watch the playback than watch the live, but we had to do it, okay? We had to do it. I had to see what would happen if you would pull up on your boy, and you're here. So I appreciate you. Thank you for watching. This is the William Cooper Show. This is the return, all right? So our description, our thumbnail, none of that is showing you what it is right now. But this is the return, all right? So this is crazy. I'm going to jump right in. Whoever catches it, catches it. This is crazy for me because this is actually 10 years in the making. That's what I said it. 10 years in the making, okay? So for those of you that don't know, when I said the return, here's what I mean. 10 years ago, I hosted a daily show, a morning drive show on 750 WAUG, shout out to the home team, in Raleigh. And it was a radio show every single morning, every single day. I hosted that morning drive show, and it was centered around culture, politics, religion, sports. But if you know what the climate of the world was back in 2016, you know, this was the first election between Trump and Hillary, so it was really a political show. Like, honestly, it was covering all things. Your boy was boots on the ground. I was trying to do everything I could to influence that election, and you can probably guess which way I was working for. But this is a different, okay? So this is 10 years later. This is not that. This is not a political show, although we will talk about politics. This is a show that is well more balanced. Let me be also clear. Yes, I'm a pastor, but this is not a preaching show. This is not a teaching show. This is not a faith-based show. This is a show, okay? We're on YouTube. We're live. This is the type of show that you can come to and expect anything and everything, which means nothing is off the table. We're going to talk about it. If you're talking about it on Instagram, we're going to talk about it here. If you're talking about it in the group chat, we're going to talk about it here. Nothing is off the table on the William Cooper Show. So it's crazy for me to return back to this moment 10 years later. Now, I got the same voice. I got the same passion. I've even got the same mission, but I'm not the same man. 10 years later, a lot of life has happened, as you can imagine. I mean, back then, I really was a very ambitious person. I was young, I was driven, I was ambitious. But if I'm honest, I hadn't really stepped into my purpose yet. So the things that I could talk about and the perspective that I could offer at that particular point in time, it honestly didn't really come from a place of, you know, sometimes you just need some life experience. Like, you know, I mean, yes, I had been through things, but at 24 years old, you know, you think you know, but you don't really know, all right? But 10 years later, today is actually my birthday, 34 years old. Throw that happy birthday in the chat too. My life experience has given me the ability to talk about things from a very different point of view, right? And I'm gonna tell you the truth. Your boy has had some wins over these 10 years. I've had some losses over these 10 years, unexpected transitions. Heck, I'm going through one right now, to be honest with you, and we're gonna talk about it, so don't you leave. We're gonna talk about it today. But the truth is, every season shaped me. Every setback, it positioned me. And it takes a certain level of maturity and awareness to know that, you know what? I needed those things. Everything that's happened over these past 10 years, I'm going to tell you the truth. It had to happen for me. I had to experience all of these things. Now, I'm going to tell you just like everybody else, none of the things that I experienced, I'm not going to lie to you and say, hey, man, I wanted to go through these things. It's not like I was saying, sign me up. This is the life that I want to live. There's a lot of things that I had to go through that I honestly didn't want to experience it. But I can honestly look you in your eyes, look at me, and tell you this. I'm better because of it. All right? I'm better because of it. I'm sharper. I'm clearer. I'm more intentional. I have a certain level of awareness of my life and my purpose because of everything that I had to go through. And I won't tell you, I will not lie to you and tell you that I developed that perspective immediately. That is a perspective that I had to develop incrementally. It took some time for me to get to that point where I could truly say, this has made me better. It took seasons of life and transitions and times where I had to sit back and really look myself in the mirror before I could honestly say, I'm better and I'm different. And I think for somebody that's listening to me, that's watching me right now, you need to understand and you need to know that it is entirely possible. And I'm on the YouTube, I'm on the app on my phone. It's weird because I pull it up and the stream that we scheduled, that one is showing up, but it's just showing the live one. But we're going to get it right. But I can honestly say, you know what, I'm better because of it. So I just really want to drop that here as we get started in today's episode, because a lot of people need to know this, need to hear this, need to sense this, and need to really understand exactly what it is and what it looks like to go through the things that I've been through. So as I mentioned, today is my birthday, and I'm 34, and I'm stepping into a new season and into a new chapter. And naturally, when you're going into a new year, you know how we do in January. We say we're going to lose all this weight. We say we're going to stop spending as much money. One of my boys is here with me. He said, I'm going on a fast. I said, I feel you, bro. Like, sometimes you just got to do the things you got to do to make things happen for yourself. But also, the beautiful thing about life is that you really get 2 new years within the year. I'm dropping bars right there. We get the calendar year in January that resets, but then you get a personal year in your own life when you get your birthday that allows you to reset. And so for me, as I've stepped into my personal reset, my personal year, I'm stepping back and I'm saying, okay, Coop, this birthday, this year, this transformation, this is not about just another year. I think that I'm stepping into a transition that's truly about the rest of my life. And as I'm sitting back, and as you can tell, I'm literally so fired up I can barely sit in this couch, low key. Like, I really want to be standing up, moving, because I want you to understand the passion behind my words. But as I'm sitting here and as I'm processing and I'm saying to myself, what does this next chapter of my life look like? I'm reflecting and I'm thinking and I'm considering, what does the picture of William Cooper III look like? As I sit back, the overwhelming feeling that I have is that I just want to make an impact. I'm not looking at my life from the point of, what do I want to happen for me? When I was younger, I would look at birthdays and say, I want to make this amount of money at a certain point. I did that, okay? I've been making 6 figures for longer in my professional life than I haven't. I've made the million. I've done the milestones. I've been through the seasons. And when I say these things, please, for those of you that are in my audience, you need to know the heart of me. Whenever I say things to you, I'm not saying it to flex. I'm saying it to show you what's possible, okay? So whenever you hear these things, don't turn them off like, oh, he's just flexing. No, I'm really trying to help you, because I know what it's like to be homeless, to be broke, to be confused, to be broken, to be in a dark season, to go through so many mental challenges where you don't know what it's like, and I've seen God literally bring me through some of the darkest seasons of my life. So anytime I say something to you, know this. I'm not trying to flex on you. I'm trying to show you what's possible. So when I was younger, when I turned 26 or 27, maybe a goal would be, I'm going to buy this car, I'm going to buy this house, or I'm going to do this thing, or me and my wife are going to go here, or I'm going to have this, or I'm going to have that. But at 34 years old, as I'm looking at you today, the things that drive me are the things that are about making an impact on other people's life. And I don't want to have another birthday where it is about me anymore. Every calendar year that I get to cross over should be a milestone that is dedicated to this community, to the people who are assigned to my voice, to the people who are connected to my life. Because what I want to have is, I want testimonials that we can plaster and say, I met William. Shout out to one of my followers, one of my supporters. She sent me this beautiful message today, talking about how she met me when she was a college student, and how literally the words that God used me to preach literally transformed her life. And how she literally, now she's a mother, she's in her career, she's walking further in purpose, and she's bringing other people to God. Those are the things that I'm doing this for. Or the other one who sent me a message, who came, and she came as a single mother, and she got baptized, and she began to grow spiritually, and she got a great job and moved away and was now able to walk into another. These are real testimonials that I received today. That's the type of stuff that motivates me and drives me in my next season of life. It's not how many followers do I have, and I do want the followers, and we're going to get the follower count up, by the way, because y'all not going to play on my face. But I'm doing it because I want to drive impact and make an impact and make a change and help other people. So this next season of my life, it's not about William anymore. It's about you. How can we help you discover who you are and live what you believe? And I'll be honest with you, as I stand at the precipice of this point in my life, for those of you that are watching, it's no secret. All right, let's put it all out there. All right, I'm going to talk about it today. You know that I'm in a major transition in my life. You know, for many of you that are watching me, you were introduced to me as PC. You saw me as your pastor, or just as the person that preached to you, whichever way you saw me, it's cool. And you attended a church that I led, that I put my blood, sweat, and tears in my heart into, that my wife stood with me, and we led and we shepherded and we led people. And I understand that for some of you, there are a lot of questions even surrounding that exit. And you don't really know even all that has happened, or maybe you've heard one side of the story, and maybe that one side was mine, maybe that one side was theirs. But here's what I can tell you right now. It didn't make sense to me when it happened. I didn't ask for it. I didn't say, God, you know what, I'm just ready to quit this assignment. But I do believe God has a way of making things happen for you that you don't make happen for yourself. I believe that God has a way of saying, I got to get your attention somewhere or another. And for me, this was, let's just face it, it was one of the biggest moments of my life that got my attention. And I'm no longer in that capacity. I'm not the senior pastor of Fellowship Church anymore. I've never talked about this publicly. And I don't know if I'm going to leave this live up or take it down. I don't even know what we're going to do with it. But I'm just talking to you right now. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a person. And when you go through a major transition like that, it affects you. There's grief. There's trauma. There's pain. You know, those testimonials were from people that I had poured my heart and soul into serving. So when you get those experiences and you have those things happen to you, You have to really step back and say, what in the world is actually happening? Why is this happening? And I believe with all of my heart that God literally had to take that. And I know I said this in a faith-based show, but I'm saying God a lot. But I'm telling you my story right now, okay? We're going to get to the T. Stay tuned. We're going to get to the T. When I finish my monologue, okay, I'm on my late night talk show flow, okay? I got a little opening monologue. When I finish this, we're going to get to the T. I'm coming for you with this Meg and Clay tea, all right? I got that for you, so we're going to clock it today. But I got to be honest with you, right? Like, it was messing with me. And I think God said to me, he said, listen, man, your identity has been tied to a space. But now it's time for me to shift you. And I've learned in this season of my life that you've got to be secure enough to go with the shift, go with the flow, go with the transition, even when it don't make sense. My producer just put the countdown clock up. So I'm going to say right now, I'm not even going to be on live as long as it's on that clock. But I appreciate you doing your job, homie. I promise you, I got you. But so I wanted to say that to you, right? So it really got to me. And I said, okay, let me step back. Because I spent my entire life in the church, preaching, leading, teaching, pastoring, all of it. That's all I've been doing, is that. Well, not all I've been doing, but I've been doing other things professionally. But in terms of my identity, let's just face it, I started preaching at 12. So it became a part of who I really am as a person. It really matched who I was and what I made myself to be. But I think that what happened is, if you really want to know what happened, here's what happened. God literally had to say, your season is up. It's time for you to step fully into your purpose, and it doesn't look like what you thought it looked like. Because naturally, if I'm leaving fellowship, okay, what church you about to pastor? Let's be real. Listen, man, I was in my bag. Your boy was preaching. I was preaching down, okay? Like I was literally preaching down, all right? I was not ready to quit. I was not doing a bad job. I was not up there wasting people's time with the sermons. But I do believe this. I believe with all of my heart that God had to say, okay, bro, that's good. And he talks to me like that. He called me bro. I don't know what he called y'all, but he'll say bro. He'll say son. You know, it is what it is. That's my relationship with God. So judge your mama, not me. All right? But that's just kind of like, I feel like he said, okay, it's time for me to show you who you are outside of this space. So I stepped back. And this is not an announcement of another church job, or this is not that. And I said, okay, God, what does this mean? He said, I'm about to show you not just what you're called to do, but now I'm going to show you who you're called to be. And that's when it became clear to me that from this day forward, my life is about impact, not titles, not positions, not platforms just to be seen, but impact. This is about helping real people deal with real life issues and become the person that they want to be. Because the one thing that I can be honest with you about, and I'm not going to be that guy that leaves the church or that's not in the church and talks bad about the church, but I will say this. In my own experience, the church is really good at providing people a filtered or fake experience where there are certain things we can talk about and other things we can't talk about. Where we're going to read this scripture, but we're not going to read your life. Where we're going to sit here and act like you ain't listening to me preach, but you struggling to keep your zipper up. You're struggling to pay your bills. You're struggling with your purpose or your sense of self-worth and your sense of identity. But hey, we having good church. This is a good Sunday. And this platform that I'm building is committed to going beyond that wall, that filter, that frame that keeps us kind of with our church clothes on or our fake Christian walk on. Like, that's not what this is. This is where we go back and we say, give me the real you. I don't want to talk to the person that you choose to represent you. So if you're going to be fake, this ain't the platform for you. Because I promise you, I ain't being fake. The filter is off. I'm in my own house that I pay for with all the equipment that I paid for. So you ain't about to censor me. We're going to get real on this platform. We're going to get real, all right? So I feel like that's a part of what this mantra and what this impact is about for me. It's like, I really want to help real people. So I want to explain even this, because we're about to clock this T now. We're about to talk about Meg and Clay. But I want to tell you this. When I talk about these issues, you see my videos, I'm not talking about any of these people just so that we can be entertained. And it is entertaining. Like, it's very entertaining. But I'm always, I was telling Amberly this, I'm always trying to give people real talk in real time that connects to their real life. Somebody put that in the chat. Real talk in real time that connects to their real life. That's what I'm trying to do. So with that being said, I understand that we got to talk about it because you're talking about it. And so let's talk about it then. Everybody is talking about Meg the Stallion, I said Megan, and Clay Thompson. And I put out a video earlier. I put out a video on, I think it was like, was it like Sunday night, G? It was Sunday night. We put out this video that we shot, kind of talking about it. And that was like 1 minute and 30 seconds. So you don't really know what I think. You don't really feel what I'm really feeling based upon me putting out that video. But I want to really kind of take off the layers now. And I want to tell you the real, okay? And here's my opinion on this situation. Number one, I think that this situation between Meg and Clay exposes something. That's perfect. I needed that. I needed that screen. You got to get you a good producer. Shout out to the real one. He doing this big one. Y'all shout out Goliath in the chat. I appreciate you, bro. All right, you got the first name drop in the episode. All right, so everybody talking about it. But here's what I think everybody forgets. Meg the Stallion got cheated on, right? Clay did the cheating. But everybody forget these are real people. Like, at the end of the day, these are real people. I know we put them on this pedestal and they look so big and larger than life, but the truth is, sis, Meg got cheated on like you. I'm just gonna keep it real. She can't keep her man at home and neither can you. I'm sorry. I know this is, I'm just being honest. Dang, bro. If Meg can't keep a man, then can we? Yes, you can, because she ain't no different. All right? She's a real person. At the end of the day, she's a real person. And the same is true for Clay. He's a YN at the end of the day. I know he mixed. Don't y'all let that curly hair fool you. That's that savage. Meg said she was a savage until she ran into a real one, bro. Oh my God. All right, let's just keep it real. But these are real people with real lives. And so I'm looking at this discourse and I'm seeing it online. And of course, you already know. Thank you, Clay. Clay got all the homies in trouble. Like, bro, we ain't even do nothing. But because Clay messed up, now everybody getting side-eyed. I'm just glad, I'm be honest with you. Mine didn't do that to me, but I know some of the homies been dealing with that, all right? I know you have, bro. But here's what I think this reveals to me, to be honest with you. Like, they're new. They're human like us, right? But I got to be honest with you because my platform, while it is entertaining and it's for everybody, I'm a man, and I want my brothers to listen up, because I really use my platform and I amplify it to speak to men directly. So I want to say that. My disappointment is in the response of men. Okay? I'm going to say it. I'm disappointed, brothers. I'm disappointed. And here's why I'm disappointed in men. Because, yes, I knew the sisters were going, I already knew how the sisters were going to come for Meg. I knew that they were going to hold Meg down. And I expected there to be a measure of men that don't care, which is fine. If you're one of them brothers that say, I don't care about this relationship, I got you. It's cool. It's cool. You good. But what I will say is this. My real disappointment are in the men who have made a decision to make excuses for Clay's behavior. You brothers, all right, are who I have a problem with. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why I have a problem with you, bro. We got to talk. Because as a man, number one, black men in particular must do a better job of holding other brothers accountable. Now, I have a theory to why this is difficult for us when it comes to accountability. And keep me on my time, G. Make sure, no, you stay on that screen, but just make sure you kind of check in with me, because I know I'm about to get into my bag right here. All right? So, here's why I have a problem with this. But I understand why it's hard for men to hold men accountable, because the reality is this: 50% statistically, oh God, that word just came from my whole life. We're about to be a whole, okay. The statistics show that half of black homes are raised by single mothers, which means I understand that there are some brothers who did not grow up with a man in the house with them that could teach them and show them how to be a man, and that could hold them accountable. But brother, that's why you met me. Because I was blessed and fortunate to be raised in a home with a father, to be raised around black men. And I'm not going to, as your brother, as your uncle, as your mentor, whatever you regard me as in your life, it is my responsibility to make sure that we promote accountability amongst black men. Which means you also have permission to hold me accountable as well. All right? So I'm putting my life on the line. I'm putting my life on display. But I'm also giving you permission to come at me with that same energy. All right? But here's what I'm saying to you is this. I've seen plenty of men make excuses for Clay. And here's the excuse. He's a basketball player. He's rich. He's famous. He travels around the world. And I get it. Listen, Clay's plight is a little bit more challenging to uphold than the average brother. You know, I've been blessed to sit courtside at a couple games and see guys, and I've been to, you know, I know where they stay when they come play in Charlotte. I've been to that hotel. It's the 5-star hotel, and that's their every night reality. They go from city to city, from place to place, full of money, full of adrenaline, full of testosterone, full of ego and status. And I've seen the culture. There are women that are around that make it very easy. You can have whatever you want to have. And you know what? Even with that, brothers, it's still not an excuse as a man to decide I can live like this. But I'm going to tell you why I think some of y'all are excusing Clay's behavior. You're not excusing Clay's behavior because it's about Clay. Some of you are making excuses for Clay because secretly you wish it were you. Come on, I'm going to talk to you. This ain't about Clay. You know, who cares? He's a millionaire. He's an NBA player. You know how much, I'm trying to find the right words. You know how much he can get? We can't get canceled on the first episode. We gotta get past the first one, all right? But this is the dynamic that Clay is dealing with. But secretly, you wish it were you. And so because you wish it were you, you are living vicariously through Clay. And so it's easy for me to excuse Clay's behavior because I wish I could act like that. I wish I could live like that. I wish I could do that. So I'm going to come for Clay in Clay's defense. But check this out. I want to show you something. What if I told you that Clay ain't the first Clay? Yeah, I'm going to say that again. Clay ain't the first Clay. Because there's a brother that I read about in the Bible named Samson. Samson was a killer. Samson wasn't, rich, tall, successful. He probably was, had his pick. Now he wasn't like me, he wasn't bald, he had hair, He probably would have been better had he been bald like me, but he was the guy. He was the prototype. Samson was it. And he had all of this outer strength. But you know where he missed it? He went to the gym, but he didn't know how to work on what was internal. And because of that, Samson was this man that went from being the world's strongest man. I'm adjusting my t-shirt because I ain't gonna hold you. I wasn't ready for these lights. I need to drop this AC, but it's all good. I'm almost done. And he went from being this brother that had all of this power and all of this strength, but guess what? The things that he secretly excused are the things that ended up getting Samson in a lot of trouble. And this is why my whole message the other day in that video was about having more doesn't make you more. Doing more doesn't give you more. There comes a point in time where you have to commit to doing the inner work to say as a person, I'm not going to accept the fact, watch this, that I'm good at the things that everybody can see. And too many of us, and I say us because I've been there, we like to perfect the things that everybody can see. But secretly, quietly, when nobody else is watching, you're dying. When nobody else can really see the real you, you sit at the edge of the bed and you wonder. And that's what got Samson. That's what destroyed him. He was all of these things, but he found his head in the lap of a Delilah. And Clay could shoot the ball, could break the records, $300 million, can buy whatever he wants, can do whatever he wants. But guess what? He's not as strong as he thinks. And some of you that are listening to me, this ain't even just about men. This is male or female. You've allowed yourself to get so captivated in the chase and in the pursuit and in the knowing and in the wanting and in all of these things that you've ignored the process of doing the inner work to become the person that you're supposed to be. Because you can have everything on the outside and still lose your life on the inside. You can be the most known person in your circle and still not know yourself. And so I want to challenge you as I bring this show to a close. If we really want to talk about Meg and Clay, don't just talk about it, but ask yourself the question, is my life any different? I also want to say this, man. I want to be real with you. This has also exposed people's perspective on Meg and Clay's relationship, has exposed people's perspective on relationships. So at the end of the day, watch this. If you're someone who is okay excusing what Clay has done, if you're someone that feels like Meg deserves what happened to her, if you're someone that's looking at relationships from that point of view, man, male or female, you need to correct yourself. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Because if you're not careful, you will find yourself in a world of hurt. And it's my job, and it's my goal to make sure that as your friend, as your brother, as your mentor, heck, I'm 34, so for some of y'all, I'm Unc. It's crazy work. Whatever I am to you, I want to help you from getting to that point. So family, those are my thoughts. I want to continue this journey. This is the first time we ever did this. I know we got a lot of kinks we got to get through, but I want to thank you for being on the first episode, live stream of the William Cooper Show. Clap it up in the chat. And I'm going to do this again soon. We're going to do this again. I want you to be on this journey with me. Here's what I need you to do. I need you to hold your boy down. Social media, I'm looking for my squad. I'm really looking for my ones. I know that I don't assume that everybody that has followed me supports me the same way, so I get that. So I'm making a call to action. If you hold me down, I'm posting every single day. When you see those clips hit the channel, I need you to share them. When you see that stuff, let's engage in the content. Like, comment, share. Let's push the conversation. Feel free to disagree. Feel free to agree. Whatever it is that you're feeling, I need you to rock with me. We're going through this journey together. This is the reinvention. This is the next chapter. If you've ever, I said on my thumbnail, if you've ever felt like starting over, watch this. Because you're looking at a brother who at 34 years old, I'm rebuilding my life. And I'm not ashamed to say it. And this chapter is going to be better than the last one. Thank you for watching, family. Let's join this journey together. This is the first ever episode of the William Cooper Show, and we are done. Clap it up in the chat. Cut the stream. We're finished. Perfect. Perfect.
Bro, that was fire, and YouTube allows you to start where the audio was corrected. You don't have you like you re